Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today is currently Saturday, September 7th. So technically it is still summer. Mentally, I am in my fall mood. And that is where this weekend reading vlog comes into play because we are going to be purely reading romance books so I can get them off of my TBR before I start reading all of my thriller and horrors. We are about to go on a little adventure that I'm going to take you guys along with, but I want to tell you guys about my current read that I started just a few days ago. And when I say it's my current read, I mean I'm like only 3 chapters in, so I really don't know what's going on, but I started reading The Art of Catching Feelings by Alicia Thompson the other day. This is a romance between a professional baseball player and his heckler from the stands. I think it's going to be a really fun dynamic to read about. It's kind of giving a twist on Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. Low-key kind of the same, but also a different premise to that book. I really don't know much about what's going on in here other than she has heckled him and it caused him to have a breakdown while he was at bat. This is the first book that I want to tackle this weekend. I think it's going to be really fun. The first few chapters flew by. The writing style so far is good. I've had a little bit of problems with Alicia Thompson in the past just with her writing. I felt like it was almost too long or overwritten in some parts. The cover to this is absolutely stunning. There's a glare on it, so it's hard for you guys to see, but it is beautiful. It's like a comic book style art. So I'm going to continue reading this book, but not until after a little adventure that we're about to go on. Okay, so if you're thinking to yourself, Alexis, what the heck are you doing? It's Saturday. That means it's your rot day. Why are you outside in your car? You would be 100% valid in that train of thought. I hate going into public on the weekends. Just, you know, the weekdays are enough as it is. But I told myself I'd make a little exception today. I don't know why, but I randomly got the urge to go to HomeGoods, a store that I never go to. I want to see if mine has like these food and fruit stools that have been going around on TikTok for like the past 2 years. People go feral over them, and I know they are releasing so many more of them recently, and I don't know why. I just feel like it would be the cutest thing for my house. I don't have my expectations high. I truly don't think we're gonna have any fun stools at this HomeGoods, but we are going to go look together. Guys, we have made it to HomeGoods, and all I have to say is, why the heck is this place so busy? I guess I actively don't shop at like decor or craft stores. I'm literally in the final stall of the parking row. The final stall. I'm going to bring my camera in my pocket. I've never vlogged publicly in my hometown before, so if I whip this out in the middle of the store, I will be very proud of myself. If I had to pick some that I'm looking for, I think the ghost is really cute. I also think the hot dog is very cute. I absolutely hate hot dogs, but I just think it's cute. I think it's going to be one of those things where if I see it, it's going to speak to me, and then I will know I want it. But let's get going because this is giving me anxiety. Okay, so I just got back in the car, and of course I was correct. HomeGoods did not have any stools or any fun things that even resembled them, which is honestly quite a bummer because I was starting to get a little bit excited. And I know TJ Maxx also sells these stools, but my only thing about going in there is I know they're probably not gonna have them either. I go to TJ Maxx more than I go to HomeGoods, and I have just never even seen anything that resembles them in there before. But since I'm dressed, I feel like it's necessary that I go. Guys, they had one. TJ Maxx, my local TJ Maxx had one of the food stools. What in the world? So I just got out of there, and as you saw, they ended up having the Halloween cookie one. The person beside me is getting in their car. Oh well. So I was looking around TJ Maxx for so long, but then I ended up turning around out of the Halloween section and it was just staring at me. I was like, what in the world? How did I miss that when I walked in there? First observations is they are a lot lighter than I thought they would be. I thought they would be heavier since it's like a stool, but honestly I could just lift it up and carry it around, which I guess is kind of nice, but I hope that doesn't reflect like the quality of them. So I was hardcore debating getting this Halloween one, but I didn't really like the eyeballs on it. I get like the Monster Mash kind of cookie Oreo take they were going for, but it wasn't something that I was just sold with purchasing for myself. But now that I finally saw one of the food stools in the real world, I know they exist. All right, so I am back home and that little trip out just reminded me why I despise humans so much, especially on the weekend when everyone is out. I think I'm going to listen to some of the audiobook for this just to get a bigger chunk of the way into it. And my mom also made peanut butter cookies and gave me some, so I think I am going to snack on a couple of these while I listen to the audiobook. Okay, so quick reading update. I'm like 27% of the way through the Art of Catching Feelings. I've just been listening to the audiobook while I was taking some pictures for Instagram with Monstrilio. I'm about to start listening to chapter 11 and so far I'm enjoying it, but our two characters haven't even met yet. All of the conversations have been through the phone and I hate books where one of our main characters are withholding information from the other one that is like very substantial to their relationship, and that's exactly what this book has been so far. So the tension of them not knowing who each other really is stressing me out, but I know I need to keep reading. I just hope it doesn't fall into this trope for the entirety of the book. All right, a little reading update. I'm just about at the 50% mark of this. I'm about to play some Fortnite. Please don't cancel me for that while listening to the audiobook. In hindsight, the relationship between our two main characters is so cute and I can see how it's so appealing, but me being me, it's kind of weird. So this book does fall into the trope that I was hoping it doesn't. She knows who he is, but he doesn't know who she truly is. And the stuff that they are getting into, texting over the phone, flirting, seeing this from his point of view, a professional MLB player texting and flirting with this random person that he just got a DM from. Like he knows her as Ducky, like a rubber ducky. A Ducky book account page. As a professional athlete, why would you put yourself in a situation like that? And now they're like doing all these things over text, if you know what I mean. And it's just weird. I do understand that opening up to a stranger or a new friend is sometimes easier than opening up to someone that you've known for 10 plus years, but just how this whole thing is unfolding has me itching my brain a little bit. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday morning, and by Sunday morning, I literally mean it's past noon, but I ended up listening to a good amount of the audiobook last night. I am around the 68% mark, so I have about 3 hours left. The whole problem that I have with this book is still relevant. They are still not communicating with each other. Today I'm supposed to be meeting up with my friend that I haven't seen in years. He's coaching a soccer game in town, so I think I'm just gonna pop by before the game and say hello. I still need to get ready, obviously, for that. I also have a pounding headache, which is not very fun. Maybe my treat for being brave and going to see my friend that I haven't seen in years is I can get a coffee. That sounds great. All right, update besties. I did in fact go and see my friend and I love him very much. It was very nice to see him and I did in fact get a coffee as a little treat. So good. I probably shouldn't be drinking this at 4:30 in the afternoon, but that is exactly what's happening. I ended up also going and seeing my parents. We ended up having a little bit of a pizza party, so now I have some leftovers for the week, which is honestly ideal. I just got back home. I'm gonna go inside, shower, and then hopefully crank out the rest of this book. I just finished reading The Art of Catching Feelings. And by me saying I just finished it, I finished it 2 hours ago, and then I got sucked down a TikTok rabbit hole. A bunch of random things started happening at once. I never log into my personal Instagram, but I did, and remind me to never do that again. So my thoughts on this romance. My owl is back. I'm not even kidding. I have an owl that comes and sits outside of my house, and it comes and goes, and it's back. Oh my God, it's hooting. I need to text my parents. No, actually, I was gonna say this is the happiest I've been all day, but I saw Phoebo today, so that was the happiest I've been today. All right, so my thoughts on this book are honestly, I don't know how to feel. The romance aspect of this book, I actually really enjoyed. Basically, this entire book is one big catfishing scheme, and I didn't like that. There were multiple times within this book that our main character Daphne could have confessed to Chris who she truly was, but she just didn't do it. And even if she confessed who she was earlier on, there still could have been a multitude of different directions that this book could have taken. Chris is a sweetheart, he's a professional athlete, he has his heart and head in the right places, and he's trying to figure out who he really is after the death of his brother. It's hitting him hard, and he needs to process and go through certain emotions and things, and Daphne is the person who is helping him do that, but also at the same time, she's the one hurting him by not being honest. I love that this book was based around baseball and it actually took a front seat in the relationship. I liked that we got to experience the games and also the dugout banter between the players. All in all, I think I'm going to give this a 4-star rating. I did truly like the relationship. It was just the miscommunication that killed me and honestly took away points from Daphne's character. All right, so it's currently 9 p.m. on the dot. I say that as the clock literally turns to 9:01. I was going to read another romance book in this vlog to kind of make it a romance weekend. And obviously if I do that, that's now going to have to continue into Monday, which I don't have a problem with. I just need to figure out which book I want to read next. All right, we're gonna do it. I need to go get the book. Pause, I shall be right back. I need to go where the monsters are at. Flashlight on. I hate going over there past like 7 p.m. So I have committed to it. We are going to read Ashley Poston's 7-Year Slip. This is loved by so many people. Her third book just came out recently, a novel love story I'm pretty sure it's called, and it's not getting the hottest reviews. I really love the yellow and blue on this book. We don't get many yellow books. So a little blurb about what the 7-Year Slip is about. We follow an overworked book publicist with a perfectly planned future as she hits a snag when she falls in love with her temporary roommate, only to discover he lives 7 years in the past. So it seems like this is going to be a romance novel with a magical realism element. Last month I just read The Love of My Afterlife. I think this one is going to be kind of similar but different to that. We are going to see how this goes. I also want to say thank you to my bestie girl Gabby over from Instagram. She gifted me this for Christmas in 2023. She said this book sounded so cute, gotta add it to my TBR eventually, but only after I read your review. Oh dear Lord, Gabby, I'm so sorry I left you waiting for almost a year. Hi, hello. This angle is very close to my face, but we're just gonna roll with it at this point. So as you saw, I got home from work today and I just did some editing. My laptop died, but my mom called me and was like, hey, I have leftovers. Do you want any? Say less. So my mother's gonna stop by, drop off some leftovers. Love you, mother. And she's also gonna bring me my laptop charger because I accidentally left it at work today. Mom of the year right here. So in the meantime, I'm going to give you a little update about the 7-year slip. I haven't read any of it. So I don't have any updates about this, but what I can tell you is that I went to One Little Free Library today while I was driving around with my dad. Oh my goodness, y'all saw those titles that it had? A Little Free Library in my town has never looked like that before. I need to start going there more often. Tonight, the New York Jets play their first football game of the year, so I think to celebrate, I'm gonna put that game on and make some of those little yummy cookies. I'll make them with you guys, but I will check back in when I have an update. Just like in this book, we have teleported to the next day. I was planning on giving you guys a reading update around like the 50% mark, but that just didn't happen because I couldn't stop listening. So the 7-year slip follows Clementine. She just took over her aunt's apartment who recently passed away. Throughout her entire childhood, Clementine was always told these stories by her aunt about how her apartment is magical, and she just thought these were stories that her aunt was telling her when she was a kid. Come to find out in her adult years that this apartment actually is magical and it allows you to time travel 7 years back. The aunt's rules before she passed away with her apartment was 1, always take your shoes off at the door, and 2, never fall in love in this apartment. And you can only imagine what is to ensue given that this is a romance book. You know that feeling when you get home after a long day, you put your pajamas on and like cuddle up under your favorite blanket? That's exactly what this book felt like. I haven't seen this talked about in a lot of reviews that I've read from my friends, but the first like 80, 100 pages was so hard for me to get into this book. I was very worried because at the beginning of this reading vlog, I read this book, which is The Art of Catching Feelings. And as we learned, this entire book was like a miscommunication withholding information. And during the first 100 pages, I feared that that is what this book was going to be because she wasn't telling him the full story of how this apartment that they're in is magical. I was just so fearful that it was going to fall down that same rabbit hole. Once we as the reader found out that both of them already knew about the situation, I just had a sigh of relief because it made the last like 50% of this book more enjoyable. Like I said, this was my first Ashley Poston book and I actually really enjoyed the writing style. There were just a couple lines toward the end that made me like get the ick. And then we got the epilogue and I almost wish there was a second epilogue or it was just a little bit longer because yes, our two main characters, it's a romance, happily ever after, they end up together, but I wanted to know a bit more. There were a lot of deeper messages about grief and finding happiness after tragedy, and also the aspect of learning about finding yourself was written in such an authentic and raw way. If you don't have a connection to that aspect of the book, I don't know what to tell you. Overall, I'm going to give this romance a 4-star rating. There was also a stigma in this book that 30 years old is considered old. At 30 years old, we all still got like 2/3 of our life to live. I think that's a stigma that we need to shake because 30 is not old. And if 30 is considered to be old, I'm in trouble because I'm like 5 years away from that and I don't want to have a midlife crisis at 30. So overall, I consider this little romance weekend reading vlog to be a pretty good outcome. I had 2 4-star reads, and for 2 romances to be 4 stars, I think we did pretty good. If you're a sports romance girly, pick up The Art of Catching Feelings. But if you're looking for something that hits home a little bit more on a deeper emotional level, definitely pick up The 7-year slip. It was so good, but also so sad at times. My battery just started blinking, so I'm going to end this reading vlog here. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, reading these 2 romance books with me, and our little adventure that we went on this weekend. I think I can officially say I'm back in my booktube era, and I am so happy to be here. Give a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you like this video, and hopefully I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya! Dude, I don't even want to look at how my fantasy is doing for this first week. I know it's gonna be garbage, but let's look together. It just loaded. I am getting my butt whooped. I I gotta call my dad. Have you looked at fantasy? B is killing me.
Oh yeah? Kind of expected that, didn't you?
I had one of my receivers score 1 point.
Oh jeez.
It says his NFL debut was a dud. My defense has scored 45 of those points.
Wow.